But something I want to know from your experience, having such attention directed at you on a daily basis. How do you protect your light against the trolls and all of the things that come with the internet?
What's funny? Like, I know it's interesting with me because one of the most popular things that I've put out is a show called Roast Me that's insults. So ever since that took off, people felt like they could connect to me by roasting. So I got a lot of that hate masked. Like, I got a lot of love masked as hate. So people would, flood my comments with, you built like blah, 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 you suck, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like you're always told to like not let it bother you. But then when it did bother me and I said something back, it'd be like, oh man, I was just roasting, I'm a huge fan. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what, that's like, that unplugs everything. Like, you can't go off on somebody and then be like, man, I actually like you. And you're like, it's just, you just feel dumb. So it's like between that and then just kind of like understanding, and then also like, it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be different if it was like, you suck in your comments, and then you go to like Travis Scott and it was just like nothing but like, you're amazing. But it's like that same guy will go to the next person and be like, you're trash. You know what I mean? If you understand that people just troll either for a response or just to throw something negative in the pot, you know what I mean? Like, it literally doesn't matter. And the crazier the video gets and then you see the reaction, that's, you would understand why somebody would go to Drake's page and be like, you suck. It's like, oh yeah, he's hating on him. But like,
Loki loves him though.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But then when you see like a video of like a girl like, I was just adopted and this is the happiest day of my life, and then you go under and be like, shut up, B word. It's just like, okay, like there are trolls for everything. That's when you really learn like it doesn't matter what the context is. It doesn't matter if it's like, oh, he's Drake, I'm just gonna hate, or it's this. It's just like, if there's a video, there will be somebody to discredit it. And I think that you can even switch that up, and those people still walk around amongst us, and I feel like that person can be in your physical life too, just to throw something weird. You know what I mean? We get to analyze it on the internet, but like data, but like, there could be a homeboy, a homegirl, a girlfriend, somebody in your family that's just like, I don't know about that, just plant a little seed about I don't know if you could do that. Anyways, and you're just like, right. I think one of the coolest things in psychology that I learned recently was that it's not what's originally said that does any of the damage. That's just the first. That's the origin of the damage, but the damage compiles when that person starts thinking about it. So like
water to seed.
Exactly. So like think about like manipulation. If you're just bullying somebody and you're just saying like every day, you're ugly, you're fat, you're worthless, you're not good at this. That first impact would be like, hey man, what the hell? But it's not when you start thinking like, damn, I'm not that good. That's when the real damage starts building up. And I kind of I learned that from everyone uses it like that. People don't really use that the positive way. I remember I was on OG Mako's page or something. I don't know if you guys know OG Mako or what he's been through recently, but he's been dealing with like a flesh-eating disease or something like that. And he posted like a progress of it. And I went to his comments, and it was like, there's like people saying crazy positive stuff like, you fucking warrior, blah, 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 blah. Them thinking about that is where that compliment, even if that person who says that compliment, whatever it is, doesn't believe it 100%, if they just say it and then that kind of like builds up within them, then that might just, the next day they'll be like, man, I could do this, I'm a fucking warrior. So
that's deep. That's like, that's how people get spun. That's how batteries get put in people's backs. It's also how you pep somebody up, pep talk. It's like, that's pretty deep.
You only hear the negative ways though.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Like, we do it to ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah. We do it to ourselves. Like, really, nobody doesn't have any ultimate power to change your psychology until you accept it and start, evaluating and thinking based on this truth. Like, okay, this is true, therefore this must be true. This must be true. This must be true. But if you never open the door for that first thing, is that what protecting your light is?
It is. I just remembered what the word was. The girl who I talked to about this, she didn't use the word light. She used the word truth. It was protecting your truth. And what's interesting about that is we don't really, when we make something or create like a thought or whatever, we don't come to our own opinion on it. Well, a lot of times we just make it and we'll share it and then be like, what do you guys think? And then that's the opinion we form. You know what I mean? We post a video and we don't really have an opinion on it, and everybody says this sucks. And be like, man, that video sucked. Or like you post something and you don't have an opinion on it, everybody's like, GOAT, greatest of all time. You'd be like, I am the shit now. But it's like what's crazy is that if we just sat and like made our own opinion, our own truth, it's so much easier to protect. Like you could make a song and be like, this song's okay, and then if you believe that truth and then drop it and everybody's like, this is the greatest song of all time, you could even brush that off and be like, the song was okay. Even positive enforcement can be bad. That's why people get big-headed. They drop one thing, everybody's like, GOAT, greatest of all time, you're a genius, and then people start listening to that. But I think that it's about just becoming creating your own opinion about something, because on the flip side, if you say this is really good and then you just get a whole bunch of trolls that say this is trash, you'd be like, no, it's not. As opposed to letting them dictate how you feel and be like, damn, this must be trash. It's really just like about having a truth and like protecting it. And I think that's the easiest way to maneuver through the internet, because you just need to have an opinion and not let good or bad affect it. Because it's like the word genius. Like people throw that word around all the time, and it's like people will easily believe it. You know, they'll be like, well, I'm a genius. But if you really care, I have like a little test. It's like, for me, if somebody calls me a genius, it's like, the reason it's so easy to be like, oh, thanks for the compliment, but I have a lot of work to do. Right. I have my own scale of what a genius is. Mm-hmm. So it's like, if I were to be like, all right, I'm gonna put everybody who I think is a genius. All right, we got like Erykah Badu, Tom York, Debussy, like, you know what I mean? Like it's like this crazy Herbie Hancock, Roy Ayers. It's like if I were to line all of them up and then put myself there, like, hey, Patrick Cloud, who's the weakest in the room? It's like, get me the fuck out of here! What am I doing? I don't want to be in that room. So it's like that's what people need to do. You know what I mean? It's like, are you whatever said about you on your own scale? You know what I mean? If somebody says you're trash, who do you think is trash? Blah 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 blah. Place yourself in there. Damn. I'm pretty tight. So it's like, if you kind of have your own scale and your own truth, everything that comes at it, you can analyze instead of just absorbing and just being like, this is part of the opinion.
I never realized how level-headed you were, bro. Like that is some for real. Like, just break it down. Like reality testing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you think it through, and then you allow your thought process to inform your reality, and not the other way around. You know, other people's thought processes. And damn, dude, what has given you the courage to like shine that bright, you know?
I don't know, man. People are really annoying. So like, if you use like false things to attract people, they're gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
gonna show up.
Yeah, like I know people who project an image of wealth and being rich, right? So, which is dope. Everybody wants that. But the type of people that they attracted to their life, they just smell the, you know, the fakeness. You know what I mean? That's what's wrong with a lot of social media trends, and people blow up and then they try to switch and be like, by the way, I do this, and they're like, no, do that first thing. Because if I don't like croquet, and I'm like, damn, there's a huge ass wave on croquet right here, I'm black, let me jump in on this, and I do a croquet video, and I'm like, I'm croqueted out, and I get a crazy amount of fans. I can't be mad if everybody coming up to me trying to talk to me about croquet, you know? So it's like, I think that's the same with just any type of energy that you put out. So if you're not worried about that kind of stuff, and it's like, I don't believe that nobody doesn't care. You know how it's like really important for you to be on social media. Like, I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. It's like most likely that person is like cares a lot. Like for real. But I think it's just, you know, conditioning and just understanding people too. Because I think that you could it's a lot easier to deal with hate if you understand why they're hating on you, and then it's just like, oh, that has nothing to do with me. So I don't really know, to answer your question, I don't really know where that like it came from. But I do know that like even in high school, like I've never really been into like shoes the way everybody else was. So like I guess I mean, I didn't really ever have like the latest Jordans or anything, but I didn't really care, so I was never really made fun of for it. And then like, I don't know what else, sports, just really everything that people are into. I just kind of wasn't interested in it. Maybe it's not a care thing. Maybe it's an interest thing. Like I just had no interest in it. So, and even still, so I guess I don't really know where it came from, right. But I've always been. I always admired people who were like 100% themselves no matter what. Like even like not even just like day to day, like room to room. You could literally go into another room full of people who will kind of like sort of like push your personality down in a certain way. I mean, it still happens to me this day, but I'm just way more aware of it. So I think it's I don't know where it's from, to be honest.
Just a part of who you are. Like we all have essences, you know, and it's just like that.
Yeah. Your Protect Your Light campaign, do you find some significance in that? Are they like linked as far as like being yourself?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Protect Your Light was started from somebody who was kind of aware at how toxic the environment of comedy period, but social media, being on the internet, just the internet's a very toxic place. So somebody just noticed that in the midst of that, I sort of like kept who I was. I don't know if they used the word light. They might have. But yeah, I think it was just about being somebody calling that out. And then me just really, really exploring what that is. And then just really understanding that that's a huge thing in everybody's life, even if, because some people just don't have a light, and I think that those are the people that are trying to put out others. Because oh man, there's a story. This girl told me this story about something that happened to her in school. She said that she had a group of two best friends, and they were cool. They weren't like the popular kids in school, but they were just like, you know, they were chilling. She had like a couple guys that liked her or whatever. Her best friends went up to the popular kids in the school, told them that she was talking shit about them. They all came over and just like publicly humiliated her. I said that like she got beat up. She all over there and gave her a talking to. But yeah, they walked over and like completely like humiliated that girl. And I guess like she never got over it. So years later, she asked her old best friends, like, why'd you do that? And they literally said, because we thought you were too confident. And that was just on some stuff that just kind of made me understand people, because it was just like, yo, we saw something in you that either was...
made them feel a way about themselves.
They made them feel a way about themselves. And they're like, I'd probably feel better about myself if I just stomped this out. And I don't think that those... I said that some people just don't have a light. I think that some people just have a very dimmed or like, you know, given up on light. But I just think that people hunt that kind of stuff out. So when someone still has that in the midst of like a really toxic environment, it really shows, and then you're hunted even more. So I just kind of saw a lot of legs to that message, and then the inboxes that I got, the messages that I got were just like immediate. So that's how I really knew that it connected to certain people. And then once it got to the point where it was like, this message was the what I needed for life and death. that's when it became like something a lot more serious. And then I even though I can't relate directly to a lot of these things that are people, I hear them, so it makes it a thing. And then it's like, okay, now I can actually do something for these people, especially in the future. You know what I mean? Like the plans that I have for Protect Your Light are very big. It's just like, you know, you kind of just have to. I'm still in the getting it off the ground stage, but I think that it's just like it's really important to me. I actually wrote a lot of the concept while making a campfire, which is like why a campfire is kind of like my thing. In Joshua Tree, it was actually, I was on drugs. That doesn't take away the epiphany though. Because I've never made a campfire without tools and stuff. Like it's usually just like man-made stuff. Like it's done. But for once, I was just like, man, how did they do it back when? You know, like. I still used a lighter. I didn't like rub sticks together. I'm not saying that, but it's just like we weren't using like gas or nothing. It was just like getting dry, like collecting dry stuff, dry brush or whatever, and like logs, and just like I tried to make that campfire for like, it felt like an hour and a half, and then like I kept giving up, and then Javier actually sent me the first sketches for the logo, which was a campfire. So I was like, all right, let me try it again, and I just like kept like adding, and it would catch, and then it would die, it would catch, it would die. And then there was this one moment where it really seemed like it would catch, and then it was dying, and I was like, well, I tried. Like, you know what I mean? It was just like literally like that. I tried, like almost. I remember when it almost was, and then it was dead. And then like for some reason I was just like, man, no, I have to. And I just like kept adding, and then like it literally got to the point where I was like Googling like how the fuck do you start a fire? And then I just like literally looked up, and it was like going, like crazy going. And even though that was like, yeah, nigga, you built a fire, like my personal that's why it's hard to put in words, but my personal experience was just like, this is crazy, because like I remember when it would never happen, I remember when it would almost happen, I remember giving up, and then now it's just like this thing that I couldn't even put out. It would be more effort to put it out than anything. And that was cool for me, because I feel like I could literally apply that to anything. And I think that it's a weird way to try to get other people to, you know, connect to it. So I bring it up only in origin story, never in like lesson form, because like lesson form is like, nigga, you built a fire.
No, I get it. And it's symbolic.
But yeah,
Fire is such a big symbol.